Hello everyone, welcome to Playwright series, and today we will talk about annotations and tags. So what are the different annotation and tags available in Playwright? Okay, so that we are going to see. So if you see in this code, like I have one spec file and it has the two test cases. Okay, it has the two test cases and there is another folder also, but it is outside the test. Okay, inside test I have only one file and which has two tests, and inside my configuration I'm pointing to this directory test, so it will run the test available inside the test folder. Okay, and the browser I'm using is Chromium. So now let's see, if I want to run these test cases, what I will do, npx playwright test. Okay, and that will run my test, and by default Playwright will run the test in the headless mode. Okay, so you are not able to see the report UI, but you can run the report also using npx playwright report, and you will see the two tests are run. Okay, so let me see. The first is like focus a test. So if you want to focus on only one test, you have 100 subtests in your framework and you want to run only one specific test case and ignore all the other. Okay, so there is a annotation or tag only. So using test.only, if you hover also, okay, declares a focus test. Okay, so it will not run all the test, it will just run this one test case and it will ignore other. Okay, so that's how like you can make a use of this one. Let's say you are working on some test logic, business logic, you are writing inside this one, and you don't want to run other tests, or you don't want to comment other test cases, so you can add this only, but never push this to the GitLab CI. Okay, so for this also, to control this, we have this forbidden only option available in the Playwright config file, right? So accidentally if you keep that only test.only and push your code to CI, this parameter will mark your pipeline failed. Okay, so the intention of this only is to use only in local when you are developing the test cases. And now if I run again, and let's see, I'll add -- headed also, so that we will see the UI, and you see only one test is running. And if I go inside the report also, you will see only one test is executed. Now if I go here, check the report, and only one test is executed as title. Okay, so this is the use of focus test. Next we will use the skip test. Okay, so you have 100 tests and you want to skip one test case. Okay, you want to skip a one test case, so for that you will use the skip test. Okay, instead of only I can write skip. So what this will do, or if I have 3 tests, okay, if I have 3 tests, let me copy this one and paste it again. Okay, and maybe I'll change the name here little bit. So I want to skip first and second test case, so I can write this one skip. So these 2 tests will get skipped and only one will run. Or if I want to run only 2 test cases and third I don't want to run, I'll just put it a skip and it will skip that test cases. So let's run it and see the output. Now if you see, now you will see the difference, like it shows 3 are executed. Okay, in case of the test.only, it was running only one test, but now it run all, but one test is marked as a skipped and 2 are executed. So in report also, if you open this report, okay, so here you will see the 2 tests only. Okay, not the skip part, but in console you will get to know, okay, how many tests you are skipping. So for second also, if I write skip, and now if I run it again, so this time also it is showing 3 are running, but out of 3 1 will get executed and 2 will get skipped. Okay, that is the use of the skip here. Okay, let me remove the skip. So next is like conditionally skip the test. So you want to conditionally skip some of the test based on some condition, so what you can do. Okay, and for that I'll be going to use the browser name fixture. Okay, so we have discussed earlier in another video. We have separate video about the fixture also. So like here the page is a fixture here. Okay, so using the page we can directly navigate to website. So playwright take care internally creating the driver and all these things, right? So I'll just put comma and I'll use another fixture now, browser name. Okay, and there is no skip. And now let's say I want to conditionally skip this test case. Okay, so what we can do, whatever the logic we have written, or inside this I'll write test dot skip. Okay, and right here browser name equal to, let's say if it is a Firefox, I want to skip the test case. And you can add some comments also, not intended for Firefox. Okay, so now here we are not using skip on the top, but inside this one we are using the test.skip, and we are putting condition. So if the browser name is equal to Firefox, we are not skipping this test. Okay, we are skipping this test, and this is done conditionally, right, based on the browser name. So let me run it now, and this time all three tests will run because the browser name is Chromium, right? It is not Firefox. CPC, all three tests are run. Let me go to this one and enable this Firefox. Okay, enable this Firefox and comment out Chromium. Okay, and let me run it again. Now this time, because the browser is Firefox, one test should get skipped, and you see one test is showing as a skipped because it met the condition. The condition is if the browser name is Firefox, skip the test. And let's open the report. And in report also you see only two tests are there. One is skipped. Okay, and if I go inside this one, whatever the message we provided there, that message we are able to see here. So why it is skipped, not intended for Firefox. Okay, so I hope this is clear how we can use the different options here. Let me go to another one. Let me go to my test case. So now we'll see how to group the test. Okay, and let's say some of the tests are part of login functionality. I want to group them together. Okay, I want to group them together. Okay, so how we can group them? So let's see. So next topic is group test. Okay, and let's see how we can do that one. I want to group these first two test cases. Okay, I want to group these first two test cases. So I'll write test.describe, and here I will use login tests. Okay, and second parameter again we will use the arrow function, and inside this I will copy and put these two test cases. Okay, very simple. We just created one test.describe block, and inside that we have grouped our test cases. So login test, right? And now let me comment out this skip also. For now we have done that part. So let me see. Now we will execute npx playwright test. I'm not running in headed mode, but we'll be able to see the report also, right? So now we have grouped the test. Okay, so it says because the existing port is still running. Okay, so let me close all the terminals and run it again. Okay, now 3 tests pass. Check the report, and this time you see the report is looking different, right? So have you observed like where is the difference? Still we have 3 tests, but now if you see the first and second test is showing inside login test. Okay, because these two tests are part of my login test. So if I expand also, we will be able to see here. Okay, so that's the difference. That's how like we have grouped them together. Okay, now next thing we will see about the, if sometimes you want to provide the tags to your test cases. So how we can provide the tag? So there are different reason to tag it, like you have sanity test, regression test, and you want to tag it together. Okay, so how we can do that one? So let me add the tag now. So what I will do, so here I created the test. Okay, here I'll create one block, and inside this okay, this is my group actually. Okay, describe block, and here I can provide a tag. Let me hit enter so that we'll be able to write a tag here and put here sanity or login. So now so this is the one way you can provide a tag. What else we can do? You can provide multiple tags also. So if you want to provide the multiple tags, I'll use the array. Okay, add sanity, and you see I'm able to provide multiple tags to my describe block. Okay, I'm able to provide the multiple tags to this list. I can run this block using this tag also and this tag also. Okay, now okay, so how we can run by this tag now? I want to run by this tag, this block. Okay, so let me go to terminal, and here I can write npx playwright test, and I will provide a command grep and whatever the annotation you want to run @login. And now if you hit enter, and you see only 2 tests are executed. Third one is not executed because we are running only these tags, right? And let's say if I provide invalid tag regression, it will not work because that tag is not present. So if you get this error, that means you are not providing the correct tag. Oh, or another is like, even if you are providing the correct tag, let's say I'll provide login tag, but inside my configuration file, if my test directory is not correct, let's say test1, I'm just putting some wrong directory, and let's see what happened. So again it will show no test found. So there are reason, if your directory is not correct, if your tag is not correct, you will get this error, no test found. Okay, so make sure you are using the correct title. Okay, to run test containing either this tag or this tag. Okay, so you want to run conditionally. Okay, you want to run if my test is under having login tag or some other tag, I want to execute that. So you can put it inside a quotes, double quote, and give a logical operator, pipe symbol, @abc. Anyway, ABC is not available, but it is a OR condition, right? So it should match 1. So login is there, so it executed. Okay, so you can use a OR operator also to run your test cases. Okay, you can have a AND operator also. Okay, you can have a regular expression also. Okay, so there are different ways to run your test cases. Now let me see how to annotate test cases. Okay, how to annotate test case. Okay, so how we can do that? So let me take the third test case, and here, so if you want to describe your test more than a tag, okay, or if you want to provide more details about the tag test, you can use the annotation. So how we can do that? So first block, you have this description, right? First parameter, so you will pass a second parameter here, and that's it, where you will pass the annotation. Okay, so in annotation you can have two things. You can have a type, okay, and you can pass the type here, let's say issue, and second is the description. Okay, second is the description, and this also you can pass it here. Okay, description can have anything. Okay, so you can have issue link also. So if I pass here https://github.com/issues/10123, something like this one. Okay, I'm just giving the example. You can have like this one also. And let me run this test now. Okay, you see all the tests are executed and the report is opened, and you see the difference, like whenever you run the tags, all the tags are showing here. So you can filter with tags also. You see only login tests are showing. If I click on sanity, only sanity tests are showing. If I click all, it is showing all. And now if I go to report, I have annotation section. Okay, I have annotation section. I can see the type is issue and this is my issue link. I can go and navigate to that issue. Or let's say your tests are likely added in the Jira somewhere, and you want to add that Jira ID or link something, you can add it here and it will show inside a report. See how easy it is to add the annotation also inside a playwright. Okay, so you can also annotate all the tests in a group. Okay, you can also annotate all the tests in a group. So how we can do that? Let me go to test and to this group actually. So here we use some tags earlier, right? We use the tags earlier. Let me write here annotation, and inside this I can pass the type. Okay, let's say type is category, and description is, I will add something like report. Okay, so now this will get added along with type. So tags also we are adding and annotation also. Okay, so that's all for this session. So we'll cover more things like before each, after each in another video. Thank you.